laughing. This is a serious podcast.
Oh, sorry.
Welcome. Yeah. Welcome to Agile World Better English. Agile World was created by Carl Smith and Sabrina Bruce to focus on agility within a global community. We're Agile World Better English, but there's also an Agile World English, which is the UK and Scotland. We have a Spanish. We're coming up on producing a French and also an Hindi in Indian dialects. So you will be learning about agility in all sorts of languages and in all sorts of ways. So that's pretty cool. I'm Cynthia Kahn. I'm founder of GSD Mindset and Agile Consultancy. And my co-host, Steve Mowbray, who I think is diagonally below me, but it sometimes switches up with the recording, so I can't be sure where Steve is. He and I are passionate about Agile, and through this podcast, we plan to share experiences about others, how everybody applies Agile principles to become successful so that you too can apply them and become successful too. Today is a special day because we're talking about keeping Agile fun, and I'll let Steve tell you all about that.
Thanks, Cynthia. I am Steve Mowbray. I'm an enterprise Agile coach in the US, and I am thrilled to see this Comic Agile. If you guys haven't seen it, you definitely need to check it out on LinkedIn, as well as buy the book. And it is very colorful and it is wonderful. And I absolutely love it. I've been enjoying this with my coffee in the morning. And you can see that one of our guests has something better than coffee. So he's certainly enjoying that. So I'm thrilled to have it. If you guys like Dilbert, remember Dilbert or The Office, you should thoroughly enjoy this. And we are just honored to have a couple of our new friends from Denmark with us, Nicole and Lakshan. So thank you guys. So why don't we start off and so tell me, who's the brains behind this?
Oh, who's the brains, Mikkel? We both are.
Do we have any brains
right away? So
we've got multiple brains actually.
Yeah, both of us.
Yeah, but
so
no,
I guess
Lucian, you are you would be what I think would be considered as the theoretical brain, right? And then I'm more of the creative brain.
So it sounds like I don't know anything about real life when you say it like that.
So you're not really here, Lucian. You're just you're just a theoretical brain.
I don't have a brain actually.
No,
hypothetical brain. Yeah. No, I'm more the agile guy, and Mikkel's field is UX. So he turns my some of the ideas I have about the agile world into stuff that people can actually understand, and we can make fun of it. So we complement each other in that way. But I think the agile geek is me, and Mikkel is good at making it accessible for the wide audiences.
Oh, that is beautiful because, Lakshan, one of the things with Agile is many people have applied it, and it's been going on for 20 plus years. Many people have achieved great success with it, but there's often a lot of anti-patterns, a lot of bad habits, and sometimes we just have to stop and laugh at ourselves. So, Lakshan, I absolutely love the fact that we're able to laugh at ourselves. So what were some of the first things you started with to really get you going there?
So the first one, we used to work together in a Danish, I guess it's a global company now, called Vestas, who makes wind turbines.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of software. You know the company, yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of software in that as well, both embedded and outside the turbines and in the plants and all that stuff. So we were in one of those departments where I worked as a product owner, and Mikkel was a UX team member, developer, whatever you want to call it. And I think when we, as many other companies, embarked on a safe journey, that's when frustrations sometimes happen, right? They kind of surface.
So 1 second, when people don't always know all the acronyms when they're listening. So when you're talking about a safe journey, it's not like you were exiting the jungle. You were trying to apply the scaled agile framework.
Yes.
Just want to make sure that people know what that was.
Good. Yeah. So it's a scaled framework for scaling agile, right? So we had been working with Scrum, but when we started to take this more enterprise level approach, that's when people outside our small department started to really being involved in our agile endeavors, and that's when we started hitting the wall and the roof and whatnot. And that led to a lot of frustrations, not so much because of the frameworks themselves, but because of the resistance in the company to actually change. And that led to a lot of frustrations, which we wanted to depict. So we started making some of these comic strips in very physical formats and hung them around coffee machines, and people started to like it.
At work?
Yeah, they liked it.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious because people are going through this, and sometimes you do just need to laugh a little bit at the frustrations that you're having, so you can take a strong look at it. Look, Sean, that's wonderful. So Mikkel, you came up with these graphics?
Yeah, that actually started, I think, almost from the beginning. This trying to depict these panels that we sort of say, couldn't it be fun to do this? And it was the starting panels were in the context of the company that we worked in, right? So and Vestas' classical waterfall process need to do a lot of specifications for these turbines that you put up in the field for 30 years, right? And that works fine for iron and hardware, right? And so the things that we drew were in that context, trying to sort of challenge that way and challenge that culture of thinking. Yeah, we need to do all this specification up front, and then we can build, and then we can put it up and forget about it. And so it was in a Vestas context that we drew that, and I think the lines were, I think they were pretty much actually designed from the tools that I had. I had a line marker. I had 8 or 10 different colors, ink, and so that was just it. And that's also the story behind a lot of the characters being both simple but also being pink, because that was the skin color I had to begin with. and the first 10 or so drawings were all analog, 10 maybe 15 drawings. So drawing the drawings and scanning them and then adding the text later. And the overhead was completely ridiculous on doing those drawings, right? So we quickly, and that was just about the time when the world locked down and all that, quickly realized that I needed another tool. So I went to go and get an iPad, good excuse for getting a nice new toy.
Yeah.
And then started drawing on that. But the line of that sort of carried over from the analog drawings to the iPad, and I spent some time making it look a little bit analog.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Your comics are brutally honest. I mean, for those who haven't seen it, when Steve said, yeah, it's a lot like Dilbert, they're truly, these things happen, and it's not always pretty, and not everybody looks like they're good humans. And so I can't believe you put them up at work. I can't believe all the reaction was positive. You're telling me someone didn't come down from the ivory tower and kind of tap you on the shoulder and say, hey guys, this isn't doing our implementation. Is it doing good? I don't know, but I was just wondering, it doesn't feel like that would be something upper management would want to see hanging on the walls or next to the sprint board.
No, so I think you have to take into consideration also the culture of the company, and then this is in Denmark, right? Where we don't have that much hierarchy, and people like to challenge authorities and all this stuff. So you know, if we could do this somewhere, it should be in Denmark, right? Or Netherlands or Sweden or somewhere like that, where they actually expect you to challenge them in order to improve, right? So we didn't get in trouble, so we started putting it online, and so we expanded on it. So
and Vestas knew, and people knew it was Vestas that you were.
No, when we put it
about
online, we realized the issues we're depicting. Not because we're afraid, but it's very generic issues that we're depicting, right? So if we remove Vestas, the plot could be the same, and people would still recognize the anti-patterns, right? So it wasn't unique to the company, but unfortunately, it wasn't unique to the company, right? The issue. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, it's no, I think that's why it's so accessible to everyone, is because we've all gone through this. And the reality of it is, you know, one of the things you mentioned was it's not because of the frameworks, but we're asking people to work in a different way and to have a different mindset. And that type of transformation or change is always challenging, whether you're moving to a new place, whether you're switching your timeframes for when you have dinner at home, or no matter what you're doing, change is always challenging. So there's always that. So what was one of the first comics you guys created up, and you know, and how did that come to light?
Do you want to answer that one, Mikkel?
I can't remember. I have to look in the book, actually.
the program board.
How about if we switch it up and say your fave? What if your favorite situation, like that, the most memorable one? Because obviously the first one might not have been.
My favorite is Is it yours as well, Mikkel? The program board?
It's pretty good, yeah.
Which one?
The program board. So we have a comic with a person introducing this concept of a program board to the project, right? And they sort of say, okay, how's it going with that? And this is just the overview that we needed, right? And then we pan back or zoom back, and then we see this program board where they just went bananas with the dependencies, and it's all over the place. And even the plant and the trash can has a dependency, right? So it's just, I think actually that was where we saw, okay, we can actually point out something. We can make a point with these drawings.
Yeah. So, for those who don't know, those who can't recognize what program board is, this is the board you use at PI planning in the SAFe framework. When you plan these 8 or 12 weeks, you identify the dependencies between the teams in the setup, in the agile release train. And one of the points of making that's the first one, and it's my favorite as well, is that it's fine that you visualize all the dependencies, but the point is you need to remove them, right? Eventually you need to remove them. Just keep visualizing them. There's not going to be any change here.
Mikkel, are you looking for the picture?
Yeah.
It's probably hard to see here, but this is the one.
There we go.
The program board.
Yeah. For those of you listening to the podcast and just listening to it, it's this messy diagram with like 15 or 100 different things that need to be accomplished, and everything has multiple strings or lines going through it to show all the dependencies. Basically, meaning you can't get anything done.
Yeah. Or slowly, at least, get it done.
Or very, 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 very slowly. So that's definitely always a big challenge when you have multiple teams working on things and trying to identify all the dependencies. That's beautiful. So what was the response that you first had when you started posting these? Initially, you guys were in the office, it sounds like, and then you went remote. But initially, what the first time you posted it, what was the response?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing?
We didn't get anything.
Wow.
No, you're laughing, but it's true. We didn't get anything. And the reason why was that we sort of, okay, let's do this on Facebook. We started on the Facebook and shared a lot of that on Facebook, and spend a lot of time and energy also on Instagram, putting our content there. And those platforms are good for likes. Yeah, you can like that, and people just sort of browse quickly down through their stream, and you compete with a lot of different things, a lot of cats, and you compete with a lot of relationship related material and whatnot. So we didn't really get that much response on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
On LinkedIn, you do, though, because I've seen you on LinkedIn, and that's where the professionals are hanging out, and they'll recognize it more. I know.
Yeah. Why did we do that, Lucian?
Well, we had to do something. We got, I think we got around 4,000 or 5,000 followers on Facebook, but they were very slow in we really caught up really slowly. So I think we just let's try LinkedIn, right? Maybe LinkedIn is too serious for stuff like this. But let's try it anyway. So we shared the most popular one at that point, which was the one we call the Scrum Master, the team needs, which is the one where you have this He-Man like warrior battle scarred guy on the left side, and you have this baby at the right side. On the left, it says the Scrum Master that the team really needs. On the right side, it says the Scrum Master that management hires. And that one, yeah, we shared that as the first one on LinkedIn, and it almost went viral, right? So people really shared it thousands of times, and I think in a couple of days we had like 7,000 followers or something on LinkedIn.
Oh, nice.
So we realized that this is our platform, right? And since then it's just taken off. Yeah.
That's amazing. Now, how many followers do you guys have? Last time I looked, you guys had like 20,000 followers.
Yeah, 22. I think we're 22 now, right? Maybe. I think
Just about, yeah.
Around that, yeah.
Wow, because I love it, and we often joke about the comics that are in there, other coaches and myself. So when did you guys decide to do the book, and how's the book doing? Because I love having it all in one place.
You guys always wait for each other to. Who's going to talk?
It's going well. So when did we decide to do a book? I wanted to make a book after like 5 strips or something like that. But I guess that will be a very small book. Everyone wants to make a book, right? So now we had a really good excuse. I think when we had around 100 or so, or 80 or something like that, we thought let's see if we can make some sort of book out of this, a nice book, and especially the hardcover, the hardback one is really nice. I couldn't see if that was the paperback or the hardcover one you had, but I can recommend getting the hardcover one. It's luxuriously made. But when you make a book, it wasn't enough just to collect all of the strips. We also wanted to add some more or less intelligent, useful text to it. So on each page, there is a description or some advice or our personal opinion on how you can manage these anti-patterns. So we made made that and asked Kent and Dave. So we saw that they actually had shared some of our work earlier. So we basically just asked them, we're going to make a book. Do you want to write a foreword, please? And they were both like, yeah, sure. And then we had a book. Quite easy, isn't it?
It sounds like all of this grew very organically. And just so you know, I did order the hardback, but it hasn't arrived yet. I got an email because I think that's being shipped directly from Denmark, and this came from Amazon. So Amazon US. I wanted to make sure I had it.
We'll ship it on Friday.
Awesome.
How did this grow organically like this? This is just beautiful. I love how it just popped up.
It is completely organic, right? Because I think 1.5 years ago, I had never drawn a comic strip, and Luxen had never written anything, right?
Are you serious?
And no, yeah. Well, of course I draw, but yeah, I had never tried this, and so everything just happened sort of one thing after the other, and we've been trying a lot. I said, yeah, we tried the Facebook, the Instagram thing, and hit the LinkedIn. So wherever we get sort of meet some success, that's what we try to follow, right? And this book thing, yeah, as Luxen said, yeah, I want to make a book. That was a year ago, and come on, we don't have anything. But yeah, then at the beginning of this summer, we had enough content to start to consider that, and we began to sort of aggregate it and then put it together and make some rough sketches and think, yeah, okay, we're probably going to have something ready for Christmas this year, and that would be nice to have as a Christmas present. But it was just easier, or maybe we had enough content and to do this book and say, well, now is the time. Let's not wait for Christmas. Let's do it now. And so we've learned as we went along, how do you make a book? And okay, I need this and this and that. Okay, Amazon, they provide this print on demand service. That's pretty good, and we can get it out. And we don't need to ship. And okay, now, well, we have the PDF, then let's print it in Denmark. And we want this nice and hefty hardcover version. And okay, we started taking orders, and all of a sudden we were packing 200 books to mail out, right? So everything just happened, one thing after the other, and we're going with the flow. So we're learning a lot as we go as well.
Yeah.
Let me ask. Oh, I just have one quick question, because it's all about your real life experiences, and you kind of can laugh at the things that happen when you're trying to transform an organization or group of people. Do you find it's therapeutic almost, like, because
Yes.
you get to express yourselves, and once it's on paper and it's done, you're like, oh, I feel so much better, and
Yes,
people are enjoying it.
I
That's
take
what it's.
so I'm in another place now, not investors, but I still get these frustrations. So I think I'm addicted to making these now. I can't stop. I don't know what will happen if we ever stop doing this, Mikkel. Please consider my well-being.
Oh.
So yeah, so we're still producing them, right? So eventually there'll probably be another book. So it is therapeutic indeed, especially when we start moving up. Personally, I'm starting to talk more and more with managers and executives and all this, and it's a whole different ball game, but really not. There's still a lot of anti-patterns happening there, especially on those levels.
I think so.
So yeah.
Well,
so
that's
yes,
cool.
we need this.
Yeah, and it gives you an easy and lighthearted way to identify the issues that organizations are having or people are having, right?
Yeah.
Which is the great thing about it. I mean, I see the diagrams for mob programming, the never-ending stories. These are great ways to name things to continue moving forward. So, this is the pattern that we're having. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
And we're getting so much love from the free agile community around the world, and that's addictive as well, right? So it's really, I'm really happy, pleasantly surprised by how well people are receiving our book and our strips. So we're really thankful.
Yeah, it feels really like a community thing that the whole software business, we've had Dilbert for ages, and that's sort of, everybody laughs at that and knows that. But the agile community and people using these frameworks and methodologies, we've never had something like this. So we really feel that feeling of community, and that's also what keeps us going. That all the feedback that we get on LinkedIn, and there's so much engagement, not just with that's funny, but also people talking together and sharing experiences in the comment threads, and sharing that with coworkers, and we can see the comments on that. So it's a huge kick to experience that and be a part of that. Be able
Can
to
I ask
that.
you a question, Mikkel? That's totally a detour. When I looked up your background, it says that you were an architect in sustainable buildings, and with all this going on right now at the UN and global warming, I was just wondering, are you involved in any way still with things like that? Because it would kind of pull me a little bit. I'm just wondering, because you guys are kind of charged in that.
No, sorry,
not anymore.
The only sustainability I do right now is in energy at Vestas, right? So
doing
that's
wind
where I can try to
right. Yeah, I get that, but I mean, it's a big shift from that to UI, or is it not?
No, it's actually not.
Okay.
It's a long story, so I'll try to keep it short. But architects, they sort of operate in the field of listening to users, listening to engineers, listening to people that have to build the buildings. That's the same as a UXer do, right? He listens to developers, he listens to the business, he has some users, and try to make everything go together in some aesthetic pleasing way. So it's actually just the same, just with the on the software part instead of actual bricks.
Because Lakshan's like one of us. He's worked his way up the kind of how most of us come up through the traditional software development methods in one day. Where was your aha moment where you became truly an agilist versus the way we've always done it, kind of thing?
Should I go first?
Yeah, sure. I was asking you.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess I'll go first.
Please.
I think it was so I graduated in 2010. So I think I more or less grew up with the agile ways of working. We even had it at university, right? But in my first job, I guess all my jobs have actually been some sort of agile flavor. There's been an agile flavor to it. So I don't get why people don't work like this. Right? Is there another way of work? Is there really? So I've enjoyed all the wonders of it, but yeah, there's a lot of challenges in it. So I don't think if I've had an aha moment at all. It's just what I grew up with, actually. But I know you, Mikkel, you worked different places, right? You're older, a bit older.
I'm a bit older, yes. Yeah. So you're the innocent, naive person in this relationship, whereas I'm the sour, bad, angry old man. and I used to do a lot of solutions for the public sector, so healthcare and municipalities and tax and all that. And it sounds pretty boring, and it is. But what that taught me was that doing software for the publics, they are used to doing these extreme waterfall processes, right? Millions of dollars in a project, several years, and you have all this specification up front, and that really showed me, well, you can't do this, especially when you do it for the public sector, because everything is based on laws, and you change the laws every 4 years. Everything is something that you have to develop over a span of 5 or 10 years, and technology just moves so much faster. So I think where I was, we quickly realized that this is not working, and we need to do something. And all the big public projects that we have had in Denmark in the recent 10 years, I think, crashed and burned miserably, right? Or went over time and over budget, or never happened. So at some point I grew tired of that and said, no, I can't do this anymore. Everything focuses also on delivering on time, and everything is about price, not about quality. So I quit that job and moved to Vestas, where I hit the sort of the same shit. Yeah. So it's not about where you work, but yeah, we are gradually learning, right? So it's not as bad, but it's still bad, and that's good, because then we have a lot of inspiration for book 2 and 3 and 4.
There you go. Well, because it's beautiful that you guys have gone through this organic growth. You focused on flow. You started off with MVP. You could just continue to grow and learn, and that is what Agile is really about, right? So we want to make sure we know we don't know everything in the beginning when we start. And by the time we get to the end, we're going to, have those issues that we need to change. One of the things I always hated with working on big projects is, why are we doing this? Someone's always asking, why are we doing this? Well, because it's in the contract, but no one's going to use it. I know, but it's in the contract. We have to do it, right? Yeah. And my other favorite one is we have end of year money, meaning we have budget that we didn't spend, but we need to spend it now because we have it, right? So we're going to waste it. So, both of those are just such enormous amounts of waste. So I absolutely love what you guys have said. So, okay, we're almost at time, and thank you guys so much. So Mikkel, what are you drinking there? What you got there?
Well, this is actually a beer from a local brewery, just 2 kilometers away from where I live, from Aarhus Bryghus. And Aarhus, that's a town where both Lucian and I live pretty close by. So this is based on an old Belgian recipe. It's quite good. A little sweet and a little bit of bitter, but good. And it's Saturday, and yeah.
And you seem to be enjoying it more than I'm enjoying my coffee. Although my son created this mug for me, so I'm very happy to.
Beautiful.
That. Every Father's Day, I get mugs from my kids.
Oh, that's sweet.
So, and I'll have a more adult beverage later this evening with dinner. So
Yeah.
wish I was there with you now. So if people wanted to reach out to you and they wanted to find you guys, where would they do this? We'll add some things in the show notes so everybody can find that. But where should they go? Should they just go to LinkedIn and find you guys? Look for this?
Yeah, they can go for LinkedIn, search for Comic Agile, or just Agile. Just spell it Agile, right? Or you can go to comicagile.net, which is our homepage, from which you can also order the book in 5 different formats, 5 different prices. So yeah, but LinkedIn is where we're mostly active. So that's where we keep continuously sharing new content. We also do on our homepage, of course, but please give us a follow on LinkedIn if you like it. And we'll release 2 new comic strips weekly.
Nice.
You also have a great website that has a lot of great stuff on it. So why don't you tell them where that is too?
Yes, that's comicagile.net. And you can search in the archive, you can search for all the strips. We tagged some of them. You can search for whatever you want. If you search for a specific word, like a roadmap, then all the ones related to roadmap will hopefully appear.
Oh, that
and
is
please,
awesome.
and if you go there, please, you can use all our strips. You're welcome to share them on PowerPoints, presentations, whatever. Print them, put them on the wall, or next to your coffee machine at work. That's a good hint there. So yeah, please share work, because it's meant to be shared, right?
Yes, and if you need a high-res edition or a file that you need to print, if you want to print a big version of it, let us know. We'll email you a high-resolution file.
That is wonderful. So people are welcome to reach out to you, and people are welcome to share your content. And it sounds like most every way, but of course, they probably don't want to create their own book and sell it. But it sounds like for more personal use, you can do that.
Yeah.
So that is wonderful, guys. Thank you so much. Cynthia, do you want to have any final words for us?
Sure. I know you guys are already fans of Agile World, but just in case, for those who maybe are tuning in for the first time, we are on all social media sites: LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and even Tumblr, if you're still there. The video of this podcast, if you're not watching it on video, you can actually see us IRL on video on YouTube, and our website, agile-world.news. Our podcasts literally are everywhere: Spotify, Apple, Google, Pocket Cast, Anchor, Breaker, Public Radio, and we're now on, this is news, Stitcher and Castbox. If you have any great ideas for Agile World topics, or you want to be a guest on Agile World Better English, you can reach out to either Steve Mowbray or myself on LinkedIn. We're there a lot too. Or you can email us at cynthia@agile-world.news or steve@agile-world.news. That's it for me.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Mikkel. Thank you, Lakshan. And I look forward to seeing this. And now we're finally going to get these 2 guys to watch us and to listen to our podcast. We've been fans in them, but now hopefully they're going to watch themselves. So
at least one episode.
at least one.
And your mom and dad will watch it too, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
We'll soon have fans in Denmark, I hope. So thank you both so much. It's really been wonderful. Bye-bye.
Thank you for having us. Bye.